He won't do a thing, Sarah scoffed to her friend. But if cheaters only knew the payback coming, they wouldn't be so bold. After 37 years of marriage, betrayal is the last thing you expect. Throwing away decades for a cheap thrill is just plain stupid. So, let's see what kind of revenge John has cooked up for his cheating wife. And hey, while you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in. Sarah, you are playing with fire! Lisa's voice was tight with worry, leaning across the kitchen island. The silence in the Upper West Side apartment was thick enough to cut with a knife, broken only by the hum of the refrigerator. Sarah, swirling wine in her glass, acted like Lisa's concern was a fly to be swatted away. Relax, Lisa, Sarah drawled, dismissive. John's buried in his work. He wouldn't notice if I dyed my hair green. We barely speak these days. She took a long sip, eyes gleaming with a mix of thrill and indifference. Lisa nervously traced the rim of her coffee mug, her gaze fixed on Sarah. Did Sarah really get the danger she was in, or was she just blinded by the rush of it all? I'm not so sure, Sarah. Secrets like this explode, and John, he's patient, but everyone breaks. Sarah rolled her eyes, her voice sharp. You're overreacting. I've got it handled. Trust me. She smiled, like she was savoring a secret joke. Besides, Sarah continued, voice softening, Mark is worth it. He's nothing like John. He's exciting. Lisa shook her head, staring out the window at the city lights. She'd watched Sarah's marriage slowly crumble for years. John wasn't a bad guy, reliable, always there, but those very things Sarah had started to resent. The spark was long gone, replaced by a dull routine that left Sarah wanting more. I get it, Sarah, I really do, Lisa said softly. John doesn't give you what you need anymore. But this is risky. You're playing a dangerous game. Sarah laughed, a short, brittle sound. Dangerous? John won't do anything. He's too calm. If he finds out, maybe it'll finally push him to leave. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the freedom. Lisa's eyes widened in disbelief. Do you even hear yourself? You're talking about ending your marriage, your whole life, like it's nothing. Sarah shrugged again, even more casually this time. Maybe it is nothing anymore. I'm tired, Lisa. Tired of pretending. Being with Mark is the first time in years I feel alive. Lisa leaned forward, her brow furrowed. And what about Mark? You think this is forever? What happens when the thrill fades like it did with John? Sarah paused, swirling the wine, then quietly, I don't know. I'll deal with that when it happens. The silence that followed was heavy, thick with unspoken fears. Lisa felt Sarah slipping away, lost in impulsive choices, reckless desires. A sense of disaster hung in the air. Sarah, Lisa said, voice low and serious, promise me you'll be careful. John might seem calm, but everyone has a breaking point. Push him too far and you don't know what he'll do. Sarah chuckled, but this time there was a nervous edge. I'm not scared of John. He won't do anything crazy. Sure, he'll be mad, but he'll get over it. John's not the type to lose control. But watching Sarah, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that her friend was dangerously underestimating the situation. Sarah was blind to the storm gathering, and Lisa feared the fallout would be far worse than Sarah could imagine. Lisa stood, her mug clinking softly as she set it down. I just hope you know what you're doing, she said, grabbing her coat. These things rarely end well. Sarah, following her to the door, nodded. I've thought it through, she said, too confidently. I'm ready for whatever comes next. As Lisa stepped out into the cool New York evening, a sudden chill made her pause. She turned back to Sarah, worry etched on her face. If you're not careful, everything could fall apart, she warned. Sarah's confident smile didn't waver. I've got it under control, Lisa. Just trust me. Watching Lisa walk to the corner, Sarah went back to the kitchen, the wine warmth spreading through her. She set the half-empty glass down and picked up her phone. A few taps, and Mark's name filled the screen. Her heart raced, seeing his picture. Fingers flying, she typed, excitement bubbling inside. "Thinking about you. Can't wait for tomorrow." Almost instantly, the typing bubble appeared. His reply was quick. "Miss you already. Tomorrow can't come soon enough." "Same time, same place?" she asked, a smile spreading across her face. "Of course," he replied. The thrill of their secret rendezvous surged through her, a feeling she hadn't felt in years. But as she leaned against the counter, the smile faltered. Lisa's words echoed in her mind. What if John finds out? She'd been careful, no obvious clues. But John wasn't stupid. If he suspected anything, he'd dig. Shaking off the unease, Sarah refused to let it spoil the moment. As long as she played it perfectly, her two lives could stay separate. She poured more wine and went to the living room, sinking into the couch. The apartment was eerily quiet. John still at some business dinner. Had he noticed the growing distance? Or maybe he felt a strange relief, too. Her phone buzzed again, another message from Mark. "Thinking? Weekend getaway? Leave everything behind?" Sarah's heart leaped. A weekend away? Harder to hide, risky. But the temptation to escape her crumbling marriage with Mark was irresistible. She hesitated, fingers hovering over the screen. Before she could reply, the garage door rumbled open. John was home. Phone face down, she grabbed the remote, flipping channels. By the time he walked in, she was casually smiling, practiced and convincing. "Home early," she said, tone light. "Yeah, meeting wrapped up," he replied, a quick glance before heading to the kitchen. His tone was normal, but something felt different, a subtle shift that unsettled her. Listening to him in the kitchen, her mind raced. Does he know? Did I slip up? John sat in his office, laptop light reflecting in tired eyes. Past midnight, but sleep was miles away. Eyes strained, red-rimmed, fixed on Sarah's bank statements. Suspicion gnawed at him, a whirlwind of doubt. Restaurant checks, hotel bills, places John had never been, nights Sarah was with friends. Scrolling through the mounting evidence, the knot in his stomach tightened. Each detail confirmed his worst fears. His hand hovered over the mouse, fingers trembling slightly as he clicked on her messages. He'd gotten access to her accounts, Sarah clueless. He paused, deep breath, knowing once he clicked, there was no turning back. The messages were there, long, secret conversations. Linda Michael, the contact name. Innocent label, Sarah's choice. But John knew better. No Linda. These messages were anything but innocent. He clicked a thread. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Same place?" Reply instant, playful, eager. "Of course." "Already missing you." John's jaw clenched, cold dread settling in his chest. Knuckles white, fists tight. "Mark," he muttered, name burning like acid. He'd seen it before, fragments and deleted messages, piecing it together slowly. Mark. Younger, confident, smooth-talking real estate agent. Mark, sleeping with John's wife while he worked late. John leaned back, staring blankly at the screen, a storm of betrayal and rage brewing. He'd known things were bad, obvious for months. But this was a whole new level of betrayal. For months he'd been trying to fix things. Was it his long hours? Had he neglected her? He knew he hadn't been the best husband lately, but Sarah's betrayal was a knife in the gut, deeper than any marital issue. Looking back, the signs were there. Late-night meetups, weekend friend trips, the growing distance, a gulf widening into an ocean. He'd asked if she was okay. She'd laughed, kissed him lightly, said not to worry. But something in her smile, something that vanished too fast, left a nagging feeling he wasn't seeing the whole picture. Now, in the dim office light, the truth stood stark and terrifying. Sarah was unfaithful. John shot up, pacing, fists clenched, his calm, restrained demeanor, his pride crumbling. He, always cool, no matter what. Now he just wanted to explode, break something, confront Sarah, demand answers. His phone buzzed on the desk, snapping him back. Message from Sarah. "Hey, working late again? Just checking in. Love you." John stared, disgust twisting his face. "Love you? After spending the night with someone else?" He set the phone down, paralyzed by the weight of it all. What now? Confront her? End it? His future, a labyrinth of uncertainty. But one thing clear. He couldn't let this go. His mind drifted back to the beginning. Their love, shared dreams, everything seeming so right. Somewhere, it had fallen apart. He couldn't pinpoint when, but a chasm had formed. He'd thrown himself into work, extra hours, convinced he could still secure their future. But while he focused on their dreams, Sarah's attention was elsewhere. Sighing, he turned back to the laptop, opening the folder he'd meticulously built. Weeks of photos, messages, statements, dinners, trips, Sarah and Mark. None with John. He'd suspected, but the reality on screen was undeniable. Not a mistake, an affair. Mark's name echoed, a constant reminder of betrayal. This outsider, taking something precious. John pictured Mark, carefree, younger maybe, unburdened by commitment, smug thinking he'd won. "You think you'll get away with this, don't you?" John whispered, anger simmering. Chest tight, adrenaline surging, muscles tensing. What would he do? His anger wasn't just for Mark. Sarah's betrayal, the deepest wound. A double life, him clueless. John, always perceptive, always ahead, in business, in life. Career built on anticipating moves. Yet he'd missed this. He scrolled. Another photo. Sarah and Mark, smiling across a table, her hand on his. Intimacy that made him sick. This, their 37-year marriage? A farce. He glanced at the clock. Almost 3 a.m. Sarah asleep, blissfully unaware her web of lies was unraveling. He slowly closed the laptop, leaned back into the silence. Not ready to confront her. Not yet. This wasn't just betrayal, it was war. And John knew how to win wars. He'd wait, let Sarah play her game, patiently biding his time. When the moment came, he'd strike. Tonight, he'd watch. He picked up his phone, read Sarah's message, then, steady hand, replied, "Love you too." Set the phone down. A faint, almost imperceptible smile. Later that evening, Sarah came home, keys jingling in the hallway, cutting through the apartment's dim light. She kicked off her shoes, expecting silence. But something was off. A tension in the air, unspoken, palpable. Stepping into the living room, she saw John in the armchair, half-empty whiskey in hand. Not watching TV, not reading, just staring at his drink, as if answers lay there. His face unreadable, but a chill in his gaze sent a shiver down her spine. "How was your day?" John asked, voice calm but laced with something sinister. Sarah froze, then forced a smile, stepping forward, trying to sound casual. "Fine," she replied, tone light. "Just a regular day. Yours?" John didn't answer immediately. Slow sip of whiskey, eyes never leaving hers. He placed the glass on the table. Soft thud. "Interesting," he said, voice low, each word deliberate. "Been thinking a lot lately. About us. Choices we've made." Sarah's heart skipped. Something unsettling in his tone. Something dangerous lurking. Pulse quickened, but she kept her composure. "What do you mean, John?" Voice sharper than intended. John leaned forward, elbows on knees, gaze fixed, cold intensity. "You think you're clever, Sarah?" Words sharp, cutting the air. "Really think you can play this game with no consequences?" Sarah's chest tightened, panic rising, but she remained composed. "I have no idea what you're talking about," she replied, crossing her arms, defiance. She knew exactly what he meant, but not ready to admit it. John narrowed his eyes, studying her, suspicion etched on his face. Without warning, he stood, movements measured, heavy footsteps echoing across the floor, stopping inches from her. He placed his empty glass on the mantelpiece, silence stretching, unbearable. "I know everything, Sarah. About Mark, your lies." His voice, quiet, struck like a blow. Sarah's throat tightened, composure cracking. "John," she began, voice faltering. He cut her off, tone icy. "You told me to stay away from him, didn't you?" He stepped closer, presence overwhelming. "Guess what? I didn't listen." Sarah paled, knees weak, but forced herself to stand firm. "John, please," she pleaded, voice trembling. But he wasn't listening. John, inches away, eyes burning. "You thought I wouldn't figure it out? Really think you could make a fool of me?" Voice louder, trembling with contained anger. "You made a mistake, Sarah. Now you're going to pay." Sarah's mind raced. She thought John too busy to notice. Never imagined him digging into her secrets. Now, seeing his cold fury, she knew how wrong she'd been. "What did you do?" she whispered, voice barely audible. What scared her more? What he knew, or what he was about to reveal? John didn't answer. Turned away, walking to the window, gazing at the quiet street. When he spoke, voice frighteningly calm, "I want to meet him," as if ordinary request. "Mark, your little secret." Sarah held breath. "You—" she started, but John cut her off again, face impassive. "Oh, yes." Flat tone. "We had a talk. Let's just say he won't be around anymore." Her heart raced, wildly. Step forward, voice shaking, desperate. "What did you do to him, John?" A cold, emotionless, sinister smile spread across John's face. "I did what needed to be done. He's no longer your problem, Sarah." Sarah's voice dropped into a whisper, horror growing. You couldn't have..." Thoughts raced. Terrible possibilities. Had John hurt him? Threatened him? Worse? John turned away, smile fading. Picked up his glass, poured another drink, slowly swirling it. Looked thoughtful, gaze distant. "Doesn't matter anymore." Even, controlled tone. "Only one thing matters now." Sarah stood frozen, body tense, heart pounding, waiting for his next words. Finally, John turned, face still calm, but words deadly. "Game over, Sarah. You made your choice. Now it's time to pay." Sarah tried to speak, lips parted, explanation, defense, excuse, but words stuck. "John, please, it was a mistake," she finally thought, but couldn't say it. John, slowly, resolutely shaking his head, cut off her attempt. "No more lies, Sarah. I've had enough." setting his glass down, sharp, final sound. "I'm done." Finality of his words hit harder than expected, like ground crumbling. Sarah always believed she could control it, turn any situation to her advantage. But now, facing John, cold gaze, restrained anger, she realized she'd lost control. "What are you going to do?" Voice barely audible. Without answering, John walked past her to the stairs, disappearing. One last glance over his shoulder, face unreadable. "You'll find out soon," then left, leaving Sarah in suffocating silence, world crumbling. John, a tactician in business, success built on planning, always a step ahead. Mark wasn't just a man with his wife, a problem to solve, weakness to exploit. John waited, biding time, gathering info. Weeks, John quietly observed Mark. Routine, habits, vulnerabilities. Mark, reckless, too confident, charm and avoiding consequences. He thought he could get away with it, like Sarah. But John, always a step ahead, saw through them. One evening, John decided it was time. Sarah had left. Another secret meeting. Lies lazy, obvious, pointless. John watched her leave. Silence, knowing where she was going. But today, focus was Mark. As night fell, John quietly left the apartment. Drive to Mark's apartment. Silent. Engine hum. Rhythm of his plan. Parked a block away. Walked. Silence. Shadows. Hunter stalking prey. John had done his homework. Knew Mark's routine. Knew he'd be home soon. Positioned near building entrance, hidden. Parked cars. Waited. Pulse steady. Thoughts laser-focused. No longer anger. Precision. Revenge. Best delivered without emotion. Quiet evening broken by low rumble of approaching car. John tensed, hidden, vehicle parked nearby, driver's door opened. Mark stepped out, relaxed, irritating John. Mark suspected nothing, slow, casual, fumbling for keys. "You must be Mark," John's voice cold, disturbingly calm. Mark froze, hand near lock, slowly turned, confusion, annoyance, trying to see figure in shadows. "Who the hell are you?" demanded sharply, brows furrowed. Brows. John stepped forward, meeting Mark's gaze. "I'm Sarah's husband." Simple words, devastating impact. Mark paled, realization hitting him. Stunned, mouth open, no words. Tension thick, choking words. Hand instinctively reached for phone, fumbling awkwardly. John noticed, calm, composed, expecting this moment. Before Mark could react, John was beside him, closing distance. 2 quick strides. Sudden, sharp motion. John knocked phone out of Mark's hand, crashing onto pavement, shattering glass, stillness of night, screen broken. "Think you're clever, do you?" John muttered, voice low, menacing. "Got involved with my wife. Thought I wouldn't find out?" Mark took nervous step back. But John was on him, unnerving speed. Fluid motion, slammed Mark against wall, fingers gripping collar, crushing force. Mark gasped, ragged breath, eyes wide, panic. "I didn't know," Mark stammered, voice faltering. "Don't lie," John growled, grip tightening, leaning closer. "I saw everything, texts, emails. Don't even try to deny it." Mark's eyes darted, desperately searching escape. None. Not John's rage, but his precision, terrifying. Not blind fury, meticulously planned, every second rehearsed. "Did you really think you could just walk away?" John's voice, whisper, face inches from Mark's. "Without consequences? Without paying the price?" Mark squirmed, voice trembling, begging. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean for it to go this far. John's lips curled, grim, joyless smile. Too late for apologies. Suddenly released Mark, but before he could react, John's fist drove into his stomach. Brutal force. Wind knocked out of Mark, doubled over, gasping. John wasn't done. Grabbed Mark by throat, slammed him into wall again, harder. Mark groaned weakly, hands raised, futile defense, useless. John, total control, every move deliberate, merciless. Another punch, squarely in Mark's face, crumpling to ground. You took everything from me, John snarled, standing over him. Thought you could just walk away like nothing happened? Mark, on all fours, coughed, wheezed, struggling to stay conscious, tried to crawl away. John wasn't finished. Grabbed Mark's shirt, yanked him up, threw him against wall once more. Please, Mark rasped, voice barely audible. You didn't think, John interrupted, icy tone, devoid of emotion. You didn't think I'd find out. You didn't think there'd be consequences. And now they'd arrived. Mark, beaten, broken, slumped against wall, body barely upright, eyes filled fear, desperation, stared at John. John crouched beside him, voice low, chillingly calm. Tonight, you leave town, if I ever see you again. He left sentence unfinished, but Mark understood perfectly. Weakly nodded, shallow breathing, body trembling, fear. Rising, John casually brushed hands, minor inconvenience. Last glance at Mark, unreadable expression. That was your warning, he said quietly. Next time, you won't be so lucky. Without another word, John turned, walked away, leaving Mark crumpled, darkness, broken, defeated. Past midnight, Sarah's phone buzzed softly on nightstand. Stirred, still sleepy. Reached for phone, assumed Mark. Message confirming safe home. Didn't check caller ID. Hello? Mumbled drowsy voice. Silence, then measured, serious voice. Mrs. Smith? Sarah's eyes flew open, alarming tone, body tensing instantly, sleep gone. Yes, this is Sarah. Voice sharp, sudden wakefulness. Voice continued, calm, undeniable urgency. Calling from the hospital, emergency room, incident. Sarah's heart clenched, pulse drowning out sound. Is it John? Asked, struggling panic. Hope. Maybe John, reckless, tension, maybe her way out, salvation. Pause, then voice. No, it's Mark, seriously injured. Come immediately. Words hit like a punch. Mark? Echoed, barely audible. Swallowed hard, throat dry, fear rose. What happened? Managed, trembling voice. Person on phone composed, weight of situation in tone. Injuries severe, Mrs. Smith. Doctors doing everything. Please come. Sarah's thoughts chaos. What happened? John involved? Too horrible to dwell. No time, threw off blanket, scrambled dressed, trembling fingers, fumbling buttons. Drive to hospital, blur, barely remembered driving, speeding, empty streets, sole focus Mark. Images flashed, smile, spark, thought lost forever, now brink of life and death. Screeched to halt. Hospital parking lot, mind fear, questions. Rushed sliding doors, shallow breath, reception desk. Here for Mark, mumbled, forgetting last name, panic. Nurse nodded, understanding, serious. Room 210, third floor. Doctor's still with him. Go in. Sarah hurried elevator. Heart pounding, cold hospital air. Reached room, hesitated, hand hovering handle. Deep breath, pushed door open. Worse than worst fears. Mark, motionless, Hospital bed, face unrecognizable, bruises, bandages, machines, tubes, rhythmic beeping, grim atmosphere. Eyes swollen shut, head wrapped, blood-stained bandage. Strong, vibrant man, broken, barely resembling himself. Wave of nausea, knees weak, staggered to chair, collapsing, stared battered figure, mind struggling. "Oh, God," whispered, trembling disbelief. "What did they do to you?" But Mark silent, unreachable, pain, fog of drugs. Sarah's eyes blurred tears, held back, gently took his hand. Coldness made her shiver. Door creaked. Doctor entered, fleeting glance, chart at foot of bed. Exhausted face, too many losses. "Mrs. Smith?" Doctor asked softly. Sarah barely nodded, throat tight. Heavy sigh, closed chart, looked at her. Sympathy, professionalism. "He's stable now, but injuries severe, doing everything we can. Recovery long if he even survives." Worlds spun, doctor's words sinking in. Sarah anticipated conflict, aggression. Not this. Beyond imagination. "Who did this?" whispered, already knowing answer. Doctor met gaze, grim expression. "Police investigating. Brutally attacked. Hope when he wakes he can tell us more. If he can speak." Doctor's words barely registered, drowning in guilt, fear, confusion. Sat silence, eyes fixed Mark's fragile body, minutes slipping by unnoticed. Finally, trembling legs, stood, left hospital. Night air stung skin, getting in car, too stunned to feel it. Mind chaos, piecing together. How far spiraled? John found Mark, but how? What exactly done? Returned home. Emptiness, oppressive silence. Tossed keys kitchen counter. Wandered aimlessly. Thoughts swirling. Noticed it. Single sheet paper, table. Heart clenched, approached, trembling hands, picked it up. Note short. John's handwriting. Cheater. This is only the beginning. Sarah's legs gave out, collapsed chair, paper shaking. John gone. Closet half empty, shoes gone, clothes gone. Cologne scent vanished. Joint accounts drained, jewelry disappeared. All trace erased, only spiteful message. Venomous content echoed. Closed eyes. Sat kitchen table, staring useless checkbook. Called bank. Track withdrawals. John covered tracks. Not coming back. Money gone. Savings depleted. Nothing left. Ruined life. House. Laughter. Warmth. Now lifeless. Mirroring isolation. Days blurred. Wreckage of life. Rarely left apartment. Ignored calls. Worried friends. Family. Lisa stopped by. Concerned. Sarah couldn't face her. Everything built. Everything been. Crumbled dust. Rare moments leaving. Hospital. Mark. Unbearably painful. Conditions stabilized. Damage irreversible. Mark. Passion. Excitement. Now broken. Physically. Spiritually. One afternoon, Sarah stood outside Mark's room, hesitating. Not seen him since John attacked. Nurse's words echoed. Recovering, slowly, injuries serious, road uncertain. Steeling herself, Sarah knocked softly, unsure he'd want to see her. Mark's eyes lifted from bed, cold, distant. "What are you doing here?" voice hoarse, faint echo loved man. Sarah cautiously stepped forward, unsure words to bridge chasm. Mark, I never wanted this. I'm so sorry, whispered fragile voice. Sharp, bitter laugh, quickly twisted grimace pain. Didn't want this? What did you think, Sarah? How did you expect it to end? You danced too close to the fire. Now we're both burning. Words cut through her, tears filled eyes, held back, composure. I didn't know John would go this far. I couldn't have predicted. Enough, Mark interrupted, cold voice, devoid forgiveness. Don't want excuses. Certainly don't want pathetic sympathy. Because of you, I've lost everything. Career, reputation, future. Really think sorry fixes any of this? Words like slaps, each sentence betrayal, fury. Sarah stepped back, full force contempt. Mark, please, she began, but he cut her off, final tone, unyielding. Leave. Firm voice, cold gaze, locking hers, no room argument. I don't want to see you anymore, Sarah. It's over. Frozen. Paralyzed inevitability words. Slowly, reality sank in. Nothing left to say. Turned, left, soft click door, echoed like thunder chest. All over. Mark gone, just like John. Now, utterly, irrevocably alone. Meanwhile, distant city, far from Sarah's shattered world, John enjoying new reality. Taken everything, savings, jewelry, pride, new life. Man trapped monotonous marriage, shed old life, stolen assets, rebirth. Quiet husband, late work, overlooked world, vanished. Now, John free. Simple apartment, unassuming, not luxury, enough new start, no attention. Not flaunting wealth. Satisfaction walked away clean. Low profile, blending new surroundings. Job wasn't grand, bills paid, more importantly under radar. Sometimes mood struck. John sent Sarah cruel reminders. Postcard, random town, cryptic message, untraceable phone. First postcard, 10 days disappearance, simple card, no return address, 3 words, familiar handwriting. Miss me yet? Sarah, rage overwhelmed, nearly tore postcard pieces, knew nothing could do. John out there, free, left behind. Consequences. Postcards kept coming, random intervals more mocking. Blank, faint ink trace, unsettling cryptic messages. How's Mark? Or still thinking of me? Each postcard, new wound, reminder watching her. Nothing stop it. Days blurred weeks, weeks months. Sarah's life, endless cycle isolation, regret. Tried work, whispers, glances everywhere. People knew. Affair, Mark's downfall, John's mysterious disappearance. Chaos. Felt judgment every look. Heard hushed conversations. Silence entering room. No escape consequences. Friends drifted. Family colder. Mark? Clear. Nothing more to do with her. World collapsed. Nothing rebuild. Sarah alone. Tormented memories. Marriage withered long before John disappeared. Despite loneliness, guilt, scattered postcards, small part soul, clung faint hope. Maybe John return. Deep down, fantasy, gone for good. Realization hit. Grim day, knock door, shattered silence home. Not expecting visitors. Friends drifted, distanced herself. Opened door. Man, flawless suit, thick folder. Sarah Smith? Curt, professional voice. She nodded cautiously. Yes, that's me. Without words, handed envelope, turned, left. Confused, Sarah went inside, trembling hands, tore open envelope. Eyes fell bold heading, divorce petition. Heavy despair. New day come. John left months ago, life ruins. But seeing writing, brutal confirmation. Finality unbearable. Sank nearest chair, gaze blurring, staring legal documents. No money contest divorce, no lawyer. Even if could, point, nothing fight for. House sold, debts, savings depleted, drowning bills. Sarah ignoring expenses, tiny hope, something change. Nothing had changed. Now John severing last fragile thread. Days blurred one another. Sarah drifted wreckage hopes. Daily routines, coffee, cleaning, job listings, all meaningless. Empty, moving life without purpose. Romance, once joy, now cruel joke. Mark gone, John gone. Left alone, facing ruins. One evening, kitchen, stared divorce papers, weight change something. Phone rang, interrupting thoughts. Unfamiliar number, strange impulse, answered. Hello? Flat voice. Sarah? Unmistakable voice. John. Grip tightened phone. John? She said, heart racing. What do you want? Trace irritation. Long pause, finally responded. Just wanted to make sure you got the papers. Sarah swallowed, throat dry. I got them, whispered, barely audible. Is this really what you want? Voice trembling desperation. Soft laugh, other end, chill down spine. It's already done, Sarah. You should be glad I even care. After everything you did, you're lucky I'm not leaving you with less. Words hit like blow, knew better argue. Already taken everything, money, home, dignity, all remained, crushing guilt, regret. Why? She asked, voice shaking. Why are you doing this? You've already destroyed everything. Another pause. When John spoke, voice calm, distant. Because I want you to remember. I want you to wake up every day knowing this is your fault. You made your choice, now you'll live with it. Tears welled, blinked away, determined not show weakness. You didn't have to destroy everything, Sarah said, barely audible. Laughing, John replied, laughter colder, sharper. You destroyed yourself the moment you decided you could lie to me. Divorce, that's just the final touch. Now you're free, isn't that what you wanted? Words pierced her, silent, couldn't deny truth hidden. Twisted way, wanted this. Escape, spark, break monotonous routine. Now, reality actions weighed heavily. Thrown away everything, end. Left with nothing. Goodbye, Sarah, John said, emotionless, distant voice. Enjoy your freedom. Hung up. Months dragged on. Divorce went through. No resistance. Sarah signed papers, watching last remnants marriage crumble dust. Officially free, but freedom empty, meaningless. John's presence hung over her, dark cloud, suffocating thoughts. Mark disappeared, without trace. Long discharged, hospital, vanished life. Affair public, destroyed hope salvaging anything. Mark's world fell apart, just like hers, clear no intention rebuilding shattered pieces with her. Meanwhile, John moved on, rebuilding life, far from ruins. Barely thought Sarah, except occasional postcard, message, subtle reminder, hadn't forgotten. Revenge wasn't just draining finances, destroying reputation, ending marriage. Real punishment, knowledge, Sarah never escape own choices. Past follow like shadow, impossible shake off. Every time looked mirror. Woman sacrificed everything fleeting desire, life marked regret, endless sorrow. John free, revenge complete. Sarah never truly free from him, my friend. And this is the end of the story. If you liked this story, then put your royal like and subscribe to the channel. May the force be with you.